to our coverage of the Richmond Hill trial explosion, the verdict in the case against Bob Leonard Jr. And I want to welcome to the RTV6 studios Glen Olvey. You live next door to the home that exploded, and I know that you've been sitting here with me watching the video that was recorded. The explosion happened on November 10th, 2012. Glen, will you take us back to that night? What do you remember about it?
It was just a normal night.
Yeah.
We, sitting downstairs watching TV, I was scheduled to play golf the next day because it was such a gorgeous weekend, and had just gotten up, walked around in back of the love seat to get something to drink, watch the news, make sure what the weather was going to do, and next thing I knew, everything went black and I was flying through the air.
You remember flying through the air?
I remember flying through the air. Remember hitting the island we had in the middle of our kitchen. Remember hearing my youngest daughter scream, "I'm bleeding." I'm trying to get up. I'm pinned down. I remember my wife at the time trying to get out. She couldn't get out. She asked me what happened, and I had no idea. And that was pretty much all I remember until we got outside.
I'm sure chaos, just had no idea what was going on. And were you helpless? Could you reach your loved ones?
I couldn't move. I was pinned down by ceiling, drywall 2x4s, kitchen table that actually flew over, landed on top of me. Just so much debris inside the house. We were fortunate to get out.
What did it seem like as you were waiting for help to arrive?
Eternity. Nobody had any real concept of time on what was going on. You know, we had no idea how long we'd been there, if we were going to be there all night. We didn't know that the house next door had exploded. We just knew that everything fell in on top of us. We didn't know why. And my daughter finally worked her way free, got her cell phone out, and tried to call 911, and I guess the circuits were so jammed and so busy, she couldn't get through. And we didn't know if something had just happened to our house that caused this, whether it was something or what had happened.
And Glen, this of course happened in the dark of night, so you didn't really see the full scope of the damage until daylight the next day.
We saw, once we got outside and were being tended to by rescuers, I could see some of the things that were out there, but as far as the amount of damage that was there, we absolutely had no clue. I think the first time that I saw it was when we were at the hospital. I walked out into the waiting room to see what was going on, and that's basically when daybreak was happening, and then I got to see the full scope of what was happening.
What is it like to, as we were showing these helicopter pictures from Skycam 6, to see the destruction? You were shaking as you were watching this with me moments ago. What's it like to sit here today as we hear a verdict and see that?
When you see the pictures of the house and the overhead shots, and then they zoom in to where we were at, and you see the charred wood, you see half the house collapsed. It takes you right back to it.
Glen,